Hello and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Ed the Pagan Hubbard, whose reading identity is Coben. So we are here tonight to do 3-card, more or less, readings. So if you want to post your questions in chat, we'll be happy to do readings for you. Or just post in chat and say hi and where you're from. I'm coming to you from Tennessee, a little north of Nashville. And Ed, are you still in Chicago?
I am in Chicago before I leave for Kansas City. Yes, the heart of the resistance. And then on Saturday, I'm in Kansas City at 4:45 p.m. there at the Kansas City Pagan Pride, doing probably one of the more important speeches I've given.
Yes, about how AI affects pagans, right?
No, that's something I do there. No, this is much more. I have a lot of good friends in there, and a lot more people understand. It's AI building the next gods. Mhm.
Okay.
And things have
So,
been.
welcome everyone who is joining us.
Uh,
So, if you have a question for us, go ahead and post it in chat.
that's true. So no, I'm in Chicago still, the heart of the resistance, one of the most
Yeah.
magical cities in the world. I mean, it's been built into the city. So
Yes, I was so excited to see the ice trucks being deployed. Or not the ice trucks,
the salt, salt,
the snow
salt.
trucks, salt trucks.
Yeah, they're full of salt. They use the Cedar Road in the winter. Yes, and they use them. That picture's taken from your Taste of Chicago. A lot of times, I meet. They block passageways into festivals, and if somebody tries to hit one, the car just crumbles. I mean, they're so
Right.
heavy. So
They looked huge.
they are huge. Each one carries 20 tons of salt,
Wow.
and that is meant to cover at least 2 to 3 miles in heavy snow. We have over 100 of them because when the snow
Yeah,
comes
they look.
down, then to do it, you got to have a lot of them on the road. So that's something, the value of salt.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we got a couple of questions here. Hey, Felicia, it's good to see you. And you can certainly have a general reading. So let's see what the cards have to say for Felicia. And then Sammy is up. And I did take a couple of weeks off because I've been dealing with some health issues. So all right. The first card I've got for you is the Three of Pentacles. So this means you are going to be recognized for the quality of your work, for what you are doing. You're going to be recognized for it. You are doing outstanding work. Then I have strength. So you have the ability to handle what is going on in your life. Even if you don't think so, you have the ability to do so. And finally, I have the universe. It doesn't come across very well on camera, but this card is not black. It shows the starry universe. So you are coming to the end of a cycle. You have the whole universe at your disposal. You can do, excuse me, folks, you can do whatever you want to in this moment. So that's what I'm getting for you right now, Felicia.
Sounds pretty cool. So I think I'm going to just follow up with one card. I think you covered it pretty well. So, but I will do this. The Magical Tarot. Oh, and I get the Devil. So I'll probably do a follow-up card. You need to be watch your narcissism and your self-focus. You can say it, but you've got that element working against you. And what will it bring if you settle it? If you don't settle it, the Moon. You're going to be seen as a dark person. That's one of the things is you're going to be seen as pretty dark. If you can overcome it and start paying attention, the Princess of Swords. You won't be seen as so dark, but you've got an edge on you, and you need to really hone that edge instead of it just being out there wild. You need to bring your edge like a sword into play.
All right. And hello to Anissa D and D. And I think I saw one other person come in. No, Anissa and D. We'll get to you in just a moment. Sammy is ahead of you. Sammy says, will I meet my boyfriend soon? Let's see. It's easier for me if I put a time frame on it. So I'm going to say, will you meet your boyfriend in the next 3 months? Okay. Let's ask the cards that question. All right. So what do the cards have to say for Sammy? Well, I've got the Four of Wands, which is about, wands are about passion, and the fours are about achieving our goal. I've got the Queen of Lamps, and the Queen of Lamps is about working within your own networks and using your own resources, which to me suggests he's already around you. If you don't actually know him, someone you know does know him. And finally, I've got the Fool, which is the start of a new cycle. So I'm going to say that yes, there is someone in your circle. If you don't know him, like I said, someone you do know does know him. So stay active, get out and meet people. And yes, I think you will find someone you find interesting.
Okay, I'll pick my card. Cups. Lord of Harmony. That's very interesting. You don't want love. You don't want a boyfriend. You want something else. And that's the problem. You want somebody that you can codependent with and to hear you out and hear you all do all these sort of things, but you're not looking for love. Love is unconditional. What you're looking for is a mate. And that's perfectly okay. I make negotiations all the time. The Prince of Discs. You're looking for financial aspects. The reason if you had a boyfriend, you'd have a financial security situation. Again, you're not open to finding a boyfriend. You want to find a financial partner. Mm-hmm. And these are what's keeping you from finding love because you're really looking for other things. And now the magus. The thing that you need to do is put yourself out there. Are you lovable? The answer is yes. So the answer was yes before you even asked the question. Can you find your boyfriend soon? The minute you want a boyfriend and you clearly state that you want a boyfriend, and then open yourself up and saying what is love to you. Unless you can identify who the boyfriend is, it's called manifestation. What are they? What are they like? What are their tools? What are their emotions? What are their skills? What do they look like in the soul? And where does that fit into your soul? The minute you do that, they're all over the place. You've got 1,000 of them around you. Even the people who have a strong interest in you, like Mary said, a couple of them. But you're really not looking for a boyfriend. You're looking for a partner. And that's making it difficult because there's no love in partnerships. There are conditions, friends with benefits, for example. But that's it. So, can you meet your boyfriend soon? The minute you want one, the minute you're willing to work on getting a boyfriend, not a partner. There it is.
Okay. Ed always tells it like it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I don't do a lot of readings as a whole. I mean, I don't go out there because people get mad at me a lot for my readings. They do. So yeah, we get a lot of people who get fairly. I mean, I've done really dangerous readings. I've done readings for corporate presidents when they couldn't find a thief. We did find it. So that's always a situation. I've been involved with it. So one of the biggest things I did is that when I was doing radio earlier, I'm doing these type of things on overnight radio. As I actually took on the tomato lady, she was stealing people money, and she was doing sorts of the egg trick. Egg washing has that sort of thing, and then they have the egg trick and everything else. They had the tomato trick. If you've never heard the tomato trick, you buy a tomato from them for any number of dollars, $100. Mm-hmm. Has been properly treated and everything else. And so, Sammy, the truth is there's nothing wrong with wanting a partner. And if you're clear on wanting a partner, you can find that too. I don't date women at all. I have relationships with them. But I only, for myself, if they can't be a partner in some way in my life, I don't like ornamentation. Even if I loved them dearly, the women in my life are partners to me. I want them to share my life, and that's very difficult on them. Let's make no sense. There's a reason I am single, free, and a bit of a tomcat. Yes, I am a tomcat. It's because it's very hard for me to form long, loving relationships. It's easier for me to form partnerships. I want, friends with benefits. I want to work with you. We want to make money together. These are all the things that are in partnerships. I want to save money in an apartment. Can we save to get more stuff? These are practical, real world answers. And you may want that as well as that. But the love part, that's the tricky part.
If I'm dying laughing here, when Ed and I and several people went in on an Airbnb for the Parliament of World's Religions, he described himself as General House Cat.
And I slept on the couch or wherever there was space.
So when he said Tomcat, I remembered that, and that's why I'm dying laughing.
So yeah, I mean, do I follow all the advice I spit out? Oh no, I don't, because there's no possible way I could. Because I'm telling you, when I do a reading, I want to tell you your story. I don't want to tell you my story. I want to tell you your story. What's happening in your world. So when I do readings, I'm telling you your story. And really, I want to see people do better. Period.
Okay, we are on to Anissa, who says, we're having a Renaissance festival here in early November. Renaissance fairs are always fun. Will I get some money for it? Now, I can do a reading for you, but really, I'll tell you what you need to do is start planning and saving. But let's see what the cards say. Okay. Well, we've got the Prince of Wands. So you got a lot of passionate energy around this, but it's kind of unfocused. So if you want to make it happen, you're going to have to focus your energy. We've got the Six of Cups or the Six of Pentacles, which is Pentacles being around our money. So you need to think about how you want to spend your money. We've got the Five of Cups. When this card comes up, it indicates some emotional disappointment. I'm going to pull one more card for you, Anissa. This one's a major arcana. And we've got past, where we see an older woman looking at her younger reflection. So I'm going to say, how well have you been handling your money in your past? You've got till November, so you've got time to think about how could you save money up for it. So I'm just going to say this one's on you. You could come up with a way to save some money, I think, if you wanted to. It's up to you to figure out how you would get it.
Oh, I had to move back.
Okay.
So I'm not understanding something, right? There's a Renaissance fair. Are you in charge of it? Is it something you're buying a booth in? Do you just want to go to it? I mean, those are different levels of complexity. I can do a reading, but I'm not clear of what I'm reading for. So I'm willing to come back to it. Go ahead and answer that question. I'm willing to come back to it. We can come back to this after after we do D Mutu's reading.
Okay. And D, you are next.
And so I'm waiting to see, can you clarify your question more? And I'll be happy to answer from my point of view.
Okay. And I do see Sammy shared with us, I need financial security as I am homeless now, but I do want someone. I don't like being alone.
So why don't we go do Me Too? Go back to answer the question one way or the other about the finances, right, for the Renaissance Fair. And we'll go ahead and answer Sammy's question. And if somebody comes in, we'll deal with them.
Okay. So D asked, how soon would I get employment? All right.
You can get employment tomorrow. I can tell you exactly how to get employment. It's called the gig economy. Find something you like to do. Give them Fiverr. Put your services up. But I don't think that's the question you're asking. But we live in such an incredible time of abundance. But we're going to do the reading, but I'm just pointing that out.
Well, and It's the employment that you want is what you're asking.
And clarity in asking your magical question is important.
It is because I think the McDonald's close to me is hiring and offering immediate interviews.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was looking for a job, that's not the job I would be looking for because I can't physically do that anymore.
Right.
Even
So,
though I'm an American cliche, my first job was McDonald's.
am I missing something? Am I supposed to be
What?
doing the reading, or are you? Okay.
I'm
Okay.
doing I'll do the first one, then you can do the second one. Okay, so first card I've got for you is the High Priestess. So this card is telling you that you need to be talking to your spirit guides, your higher power, however you envision that, personally asking them to help you manifest the job you want. Next card I've got is the Queen of Cups. So this is a woman who is happy with her lot in life. So I'm thinking not far. And then I've got the Ten of Swords, which indicates the end of a cycle. And I'm going to pull one more card for you. And I've got Temperance, which is talking about balance and taking many different pieces and pulling them together to make something new. So I am seeing something new on the horizon for you. And I think sooner rather than later.
Okay. So there we go. The Fool. Right now, what do you want to do? You have to focus on something. There's so much work out there that you can do anything. So what do you want to do? You have to stop trying to be. You can be anything. I don't care if it's foolish, but do something, right? As long as you can be helpful. I saw a new job today. I saw a young man start. It's out in New York, where he takes groups of children around Pokemon around North Park, leaving these kids around the park while their parents have like an hour to themselves. It's a
That's
silly
so
job.
cool.
Uh,
I said, that's so cool.
but so find out what you want to do that makes you have a passion, the energy, the flow. And Lord of Wealth, there it is. I mean, it's just simply that. I want to say that this is simply manifestation work. Get a clear idea of what you want. Ask the universe for it. We ask the universe far too little and manifest it. But you have the clearer your message, the clearer your will, the sharper your ideology, the faster it will come. And you have to then put the energy in. That's the answer. I mean, you're employable. You just have to figure it out. I'll ask one more question. Are you in the USA, Caribbean, or are you outside the United States? One of the other Dutch, British. There's a bunch of the Mogul, the oligarchs of their day stole whole islands out of the Caribbean. So there you go. Sammy, I'm going to offer you a very unconventional idea. Look for a living worker, a living maid, a living gardener, living handyman. It gives you two things that answers it. And you say, I couldn't do it. Yes, you can. I mean, it depends what it is. Can you be a laundry person? Can you, clean house? Can you watch kids? Right? We give you that, but put it in put it in your local newspaper. Um, put it in your local newspaper. Put it in your local contacts. Live in servant. We get you housing. We get you a job, and a lot of them pay somewhat well. That sort of thing. If you can do that, and you won't be alone. Trinidad and Tobago, yeah. So that's something you can do. As far as the Renaissance Fair, I didn't see Beck, so I'm going to do one card.
Knowing Anissa, I'm pretty sure she wants to go.
Princess of Discs. No problem. You're going to have plenty of change. Save all your pennies, save all your change. You can go. But it's the Princess of the Rose of Isis, the Princess of Discs. Dress up to your nines. Because that'll get you more drinks, more attention, if you're open to it. Yes, here you go. You're going to be a princess of coins. You'll have enough coins to spend, but not to be extravagant.
I had a marvelous time with my father and my daughter at the Renaissance Fair one year.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We had fun just walking around, seeing all the exhibits, and I had to take my daughter to the restroom. She was 4, I think. We left him alone for I don't know, 15 minutes near where the horses for the jousts were. By the time we came back, he had made friends with the horses first, then the horses' attendants. And when we came back, he introduced us to the attendants, the horses, and he picked up my daughter so she could feed the horses their treats.
See? People don't understand sometimes the idea of manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's beginning to be really super important because, in a lot of ways, reality has grown very, very soft. In a lot of ways, things are happening that don't necessarily make a lot of sense or stay on the straight and narrow and changes. You hear about the Mandela effect. We may be, and as we head towards something called the singularity, the idea that we're creating a super intelligence, that we're about to step over a line that we are not going to be able to come back from. Okay. And we're coming to that soon within a couple of years. And we've gone through this before. Language was a singularity we couldn't come back from. None of us can go degenerate ourselves, unlearn ourselves to the point where we don't know language. None of us can do that. It's embedded in us. We can go and make unintelligible languages. We can go leave a baby who's never talked to anyone mute, but they will still try to communicate or go completely mad. But that's the essence of it. So a singularity is like suddenly talking, the first words that were understood. It's impossible to go back to that thought. So that was a major singularity. Another major singularity, they believe, and the mushrooms may have played it, psychedelics, shamanism, may all come out of this one experience when for the first time we could imagine something. Do you remember when Father did this? Do you remember when Mom did this? It became really sharp 70,000 years ago. We may have had it for hundreds of thousands of years, but 70,000 years ago, we could actually show it at some of the earliest places where people have God. I mean, actually, something manifesting more than just the feeling of nature, something they had to articulate. So it was another singularity, right? These are the two most major singularities we've gone to. And the next one is on epic scale of this. We can never go back to a time where we don't have our imagination. We just can't go back. And that's what a singularity does. The next singularity we're facing. And so people say, well, what about the printing of books? Which time? In China, 1800 BC, starting in as soon as 1800 BC, they were having some of the movable type. So China had it fairly early, and they used it for high-end art. Just like the Romans had the steam engine, but they only used it for toys. They certainly only used it for art. The printing presses of them, they made lithographs and everything else. They were changing out plates. They did all of that. But what Gutenberg did is he made movable type so you could do easy print. Before that, you were making it and you had to make a solid print. So you can make a poster with words, but you couldn't say, okay, I want to do another, when you had to start a whole new process. Gutenberg made it possible to type, to do all of those things. He broke up letters into individual components and put them together. And that changed the way we store knowledge. Everything about it stores knowledge. So that too is a what they call a technological object, a something transcendental object. When the book started, it was transcendental. If people want readings, go ahead. I'll be happy to, but I'll finish this up. It's transcendental, meaning the computer was transcendental. It means it was beyond our experiences. But we could not, we still can imagine not having them. We can still function without having them. See the difference between the two things?
Yes.
If we lose the printers, so what? We're not going to die.
Right.
The next technological singularity coming when we cross that line, and we won't know until after we cross it.
Mm-hmm.
We will never be able to think about the world as we do today. No one will think about the world again in the human race the way we see it today. It will be a world composed of multiple layers of technology that we will handle from birth and that will be smarter than us. And how we deal with it or not deal with it is what we have to learn. There you go.
Right.
And that's coming. As psychics, is a really exciting time for us. I think for psychics, it's amazing.
It is. So, does anyone else want a reading? Personal reading as opposed to prophecy.
That's true.
But we appreciate the prophecy.
Oh, it's all very important about what we do. I mean, within the tarot, if you were to do every sort of compulsion out of there, stacking of it, that's more stars than our galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so it doesn't look like anyone else wants a reading. We're down to 2 viewers. So I think I think we can close the show down.
I think it is probably time to close the show down. I do have to get up and go deal with Mundania in the morning.
And I have to go to Kansas City on Friday night, overnight.
Safe to, there's Renee. Okay, well, we got to give our friend Renee a reading.
You can give Renee a reading, absolutely.
So you're leaving Friday night for Kansas City.
Overnight to go to Kansas City.
Well, safe travels.
Well, my bus travels are either wild events or they're very calm. I always prefer the unexcited type, but I've had some pretty wild bus rides.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, getting stuck with the woman who was stripping was a interesting story to hear, but I'm sure being stranded with it was not pleasant.
Oh, it wasn't unpleasant. I mean, that's what being a stoic is. I can't change the events. They happen sometimes. So how do I respond to it? It was very entertaining, and you have to accept that
Yeah,
this could, this can happen anywhere at any time. I mean,
yeah, I get the text, we're being delayed. A woman has decided to take off all her clothes and they've stopped the bus in the middle of nowhere. Mm.
mhm.
Okay, Ed.
These are some of the texts you receive if you're a friend of Ed's. Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know when I'm supposed to pick you up.
all right, let's get on to Renee.
All right. For Renee. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. So, Ace of Pentacles. So it looks like things are going pretty well for you in the material realm. You got a firm foundation, but there is some conflict in one area of your life. And that was the Five of Swords. I've got the Eight of Lamps. And when this card comes up, you just need to start over, try a new direction. So wherever you're feeling the conflict, try something new. And I'll pull one more card for you. And I've got time. So remember, time is cycles. It doesn't work just straightforward. It's cycles that go around and around. So whatever you were working on is just not time right now. So just go in a different direction.
This was reasonable. All right. Coke Zero. If you want to, there you go. Coke Zero, if you'd like to sponsor us, or if anybody would like to sponsor us, please do so. Contact Mary Hawk through her many, many channels, and you too can be this. This does not represent Coke in any way or any form. This is only a statement. But Coke, think about it. Imagine Coke cans with tarot cards on it. I want the business. I've learned I don't make enough offers in the world. I really should be making more offers. And that was a serious offer. I mean, if Coke comes to us, I'll be happy. You laugh. Why are you laughing, Mary? I know it's funny. Okay. All right, Renee,
Yes.
think of a
Thank
word in
you,
your head.
Sarah.
Huh? Think of a word in
Sarah
your head.
likes my hat.
Oh, there he goes. Here we go. Lord of Truth. Get the word in your head. Get the word in your head. Lord of Truth. You've got to stop battling. You just got to stop fighting. You got to find a way to get to a truth. Internally, externally, you just got to find a way to get everything to slow down. A truth. So that you can just breathe and act. You need to talk about that. How do you reach a truth? That's hard. Lord of Peace, you must calm down. You must think of it as not a battle, but what's going to bring peace. I didn't say happiness. I did not say joy. I did not say comfort. These are not peace. None of those are peace. Peace is where you no longer feel threatened. You need to find a way to make yourself feel safe. Above all else, find a way to get a truth around you. It is essential that you find peace with yourself inside. This is it. Lord of Dominion. You are either going to lose, if you cannot bring yourself to a peace, if you cannot bring yourself to a truth, then you have to either take total dominion over your spaces where you control everything, live in your high tower, or you're going to lose everything because you either can be only in control of dominion or be rejected by dominion. So that means either get yourself a house, get yourself in financial control, or don't. You can't keep these halfway measures. You can't half control something. That's hard. And if you do that, what is going to happen? Let me pick one more card. Wow. Lord of Victory, 6 of Wands. Bring yourself to peace. Stop getting the voices out of your head. Stop it all. Get a truce around you. Get ways for people just to give you space. Decide what you're going to be a dominion of or you're not going to be a dominion. You can be a good citizen. It just helps out everybody. Lord of Victory is there. Once you make a decision on what you want to control, then you can bring yourself peace and truce around you. As long as you don't know what you want to control. Or if you want to control anything, it's perfectly okay not to. You'll collapse. You'll collapse over and over again. You'll never get out of this. If you don't find peace in your heart for yourself, fuck everybody else. For yourself, you're never going to get out of this. Period. That's my advice right today. This is why COVID it does not do a lot of readings out there in the world.
I think that was a beautiful reading.
Thank you. But and this sort of public format for readings gives people a way to see things and everything else. When I first used to do readings, especially on air, I was a glad hander, right? Meaning I would just tell you the good news, good news, good news. And bad things happen to them. Well, did you tell me about that? Well, I don't tell bad news. I said, why did I get a reading from you? And I'll tell you one act of glad handing that I did during Salem, right? 2019, the year before COVID. I was doing reading. I haven't read Martin Short, the actor, right there, and his reading. I should have been warned, and over again. So I was doing 30 readings a day, approximately. When I read, there's a contest of it. I never was number one, but it was pretty up high there. I was usually within the top 3. And I was an upbeat reader the whole time. A little harshness here and there. Sometimes when I really felt compelled, I had to answer it, I would, but I was a glad hand reader. I told you where your next boyfriend was, where the next pot of gold was. That's what I was doing. And over again, I kept getting these impressions of people taking vacations in April and May. And I'm going, what the fuck is this? Like 60% of my readings had people going on a sudden vacation in April and May.
That was lockdown.
It was a vacation. And that's a different. And Don talks about the message and messenger. Because I did want to do upbeat readings. I didn't want to tell everybody, oh my fucking God, there's a disease coming. And somehow my mind blocked it. If I would have just said that to people, if I would have said to people, you're going to be quarantined here soon, prepare for the quarantine. Not, you're going to need to save extra money for a sudden vacation. There's going to be, that sort of thing. And probably people remember it saying, oh my God, he said he was going to go on vacation. They didn't know he meant quarantine. What would have happened to my career if I had actually come out and said, "Oh no, this is worse than that"? And that's the message.
Mhm.
And that's what glad handling does. I won't glad handle anymore. I could have done a lot more good if I would have taken the more realistic point of view that I was seeing. Hmm? But because I want to make people happy, I was making money. So I don't like doing readings for money anymore because they are,
Right.
for me, they're a trick. Hmm?
We did a fundraiser a few months ago for Pagan Pride Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, I don't know, 10 readings
Mm-hmm.
that night. And someone wanted to have coffee with me last Saturday
Mm-hmm.
and talk about how the reading discuss. She wanted to discuss the reading I'd done for her and how what I'd told her would happen came true. And I'm like, number one, I don't remember the reading.
Mm-hmm.
I did, I don't know, 8, 10 readings. I know I read for her.
And that's when, as a professional, and I do still do professional reading, you say, I'd be more than happy to schedule for a follow-up reading.
No, she just asked me out for coffee and we
And they do,
discussed
and people do.
what had happened and how she was coping.
Because
She
she
had
cried.
misinterpreted it and now she's coping with it. But you were right. I'm like, okay.
So they wanted more advice. They wanted more free, but they wanted it for free.
Not so much advice, but yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who want continuations of readings. For them, it's either they're in desperate need of, and they're in pain, they want attention. Two, it's fascinating. It's wonderful. I'd really like to talk about this more because I want to learn more. And people across the spectrum on that. I've talked to a lot of
But
people.
yeah, I just found that interesting because I do not remember but she did.
Of course she is, because you were branding her. You were the voice of God.
Yeah.
That's what I tell every tarot reader. When you start that process, you're the voice of God.
Yeah. Oh, I always, before we came on tonight, I was meditating and asking.
Mm-hmm.
I always do. I meditate and ask that I see clearly and I tell people what they need to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. That's why. So the truth of the answer, people ask me, well, why? Who's Coven? Well, Coven's a very early entity that I channeled. People don't realize I channeled. If I had money to attend.
Anissa, we did your readings. Did you leave us?
Yeah, she said if I had money to attend. I don't know what that meant. Maybe it's because I put out Pagan World Congress, which has a $25 fee if you want to participate. But if you are just wanting to attend and watch for free, we're going to give you lots of opportunities to interact with the site and to view the speeches and the talks and everything else. If you want to participate, which means be inside the forums and help us pay for the tools that'll make it possible.
Hey, Magical Mermaid, it's good to see you. And I actually had to take a couple of weeks off due to some health
Yeah.
challenges.
So yeah. So Pagan World Congress is free. We're going to be broadcasting it. I want to reach 1 million people, and I really want people to help us. If you've ever got a reading from us or anything else like that, think about helping. I mean, Mary could use some
Yeah,
volunteers too.
to have you come to Pagan World Congress. Let me throw it up here.
I did earlier. I think that's what she was talking about. But do it again. I mean, of course, it was a while ago.
No, Anissa's asking us about her reading. Will she have the money to attend the Renaissance Festival? And we did your reading earlier, and basically, You've got time to save it up if you work at it, is what it came out.
And if you want to really see what it is, just to come after the show's over and just watch it. Fast forward.
Yeah. Watch the recording. It'll be up. Usually takes about 5 minutes for it to reset.
I remember it took hours after we did the recording. Like it took us a day to get it transferred. First we had to download it, then we had to compile it, and then we had to put it back up.
I know. It generally doesn't take more than 5 minutes for it to be ready to be viewed now. And Magical Mermaid says, yes, the darkness has been in the air or the water. Yeah, I don't know. I had some teeth removed August the 5th, and I have not been right since. I had to go back for more work done on my mouth. It's been an ordeal. But register at paganworld.org for the Pagan World Congress. We have many wonderful presenters lined up on topics. I will be teaching Reclaiming the Sacred Womb, about a pagan view on reproductive rights. What is the name of your workshop, Ed?
Oh, I'm going to have several of them. And they're going to be along the lines of panels. I'm going to run a track basically about AI in the pagan world. What are we going to do?
Okay. And
because I'm architecting this site, and one of the things I think what I want to be more is, the people would be, once they get this thing gets done, they'll be able to see things. There's going to be a Hall of Fame. There's so much of there that they're going to be able to do, and they're going to have so many possibilities what you can do afterward. It is literally going to change how the pagan world communicates. Beyond Witchfox, beyond the directories, which are all good. This is going to give a lot more resources to you. Over a 4 or 5 day period, you're going to learn how to control more resources. The piece that I sing is Damon Leff. Have you been seeing Damon Leff and Sapporo's pieces lately? Damon Leff is our major speaker. He's going to talk about South Africa and the situations they're facing. And he's warning the South Africans and showing the pieces he's written. Do not do magic in the public square. In South Africa, it's illegal to do magic in the public square. You will get charged with fraud and incitement.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You think we're having it bad, but look at South Africa. Damon Leff, and he will be speaking on this. He's a leading expert on South Africa and South African politics from a pagan point of view. So I'm so excited to get him. We have another person, Rolando Coleman. Everybody loves Rolando if you know him. He is a world peace giver.
So amazing.
And he's going to give us some peace materials. And he's going to have more than just his own piece. We're talking, he'll be able to do pieces in his own language there, because you can run this 24 hours a day. We're about to have the biggest pagan conversation in history, the most singularly largest. We have all 6 continents covered, and
we have Newman from Spain. He will be. I'm sorry,
Louis Dess. Prominent African spiritualist.
Yes.
And they've donated their time to this. They're donating their energy to this. This isn't about a money-making scheme. When somebody sees it, well, why the $25 registration? To pay the minimal amounts needed. And also, hey, do you want to have, if you can pay $25, you can have more money into this. Not money necessarily, but energy. If you don't, think about what you can present. Send us a presentation. You can volunteer. You can beg for a scholarship. We're so softy. But the $25 helps us cover the overall probably $800 expenses that we're probably pay out of our pocket. If we can sell 32 memberships, we can avoid that fate. Jason is also working on the map where you push on the buildings and things like that. So much you're going to be able to see. It's going to be a very different experience. So song can be magic. Yes.
Yes, it can.
I am now saying I want to get into this battle further, but it's not mature enough yet. And our community is not there willing to fight in the way I need. But drumming, if we start drumming in the city of Chicago South Side and jammed all night, if ICE was there and the National Guard was there, and we started drumming the right frequencies, they would be unrattled. There are numerous sonic weapons the government has that they can use against us, but we have a number of music and sounds. Why have we not seen protest music like we saw in the 60s? Well, it's being suppressed. The big groups don't want to let it come out and be big there. They're not financing it. And so what's happening? Well, Spotify lets it happen. So that happens. So music is a weapon.
It is.
And it can change your emotions. Music is really the language of our emotions that affects us deep inside. You want to fuck with ICE? Start a drumming circle where they sleep. Start at night being drumming circles. And that's just one thing we can do. We don't have to fight them with violence, but we have to fucking scare them. We have to fight with fear. Drums, music, sound. We know all of these techniques. In the world of AI, we need to be psychologically superior. We need to use our psychic skills and our mystic arts.
Yes. And yes, we have Newman Delos from Spain. We have Kylene White from Australia and Haiti Hernando from Venezuela for the Congress. It is truly a pagan world Congress.
Absolutely.
Every continent is represented.
So the first town hall we're going to have, and I'm going to do a quick presentation, and then you're going to be allowed anyone, right? And you're going to be able to get in line to do a 3-minute speech about the subjects that they want. They can ask me questions. They can just do it, whatever, about the subject. And mine is going to be AI ethics in the pagan world. What does that look like? Right? Because we're all in. I mean, we've already passed the line of not being swept into it. But that's one panel. If you want, a town hall panel, right? I'm hoping to get Dawn to do one on the elders. A town hall on elders. What do people think about the elders? Talk to the elders. This is going to be a lot of tools that people haven't seen before. To talk one to many, one to one. So I will argue that, Magical Mermaid, but we can walk out of it anytime we want to. We only have to agree to a new collective agreement, individually and collectively. We've done it over and over again. Nothing's going to stop technology from wanting to go to space. It's just not. You're not going to stop it. And if you do, we're making a big mistake. We got to spread out. We fight less when we spread out more. I guarantee if we pulled that all into space and had really good money to spend on the colonies and start really getting something from it, like helium-3 from the moon and other things, we'd be back to wars. We wouldn't give it up. We'd call them gladiatorial games of some sort. Football with, that. Medieval jousting contests again with real swords and things like that. I guarantee, even if we could remove the level of war, we could not stop it on Earth. We could not stop it between men. Could we calm it down? Yeah, sure. That's what we're constantly playing. We're playing a game of raising the stakes and lowering them. And how do you do that? You're fighting. You're fighting so that you get the right to make the decisions. That's it. That's what we're all fighting for. Oh yeah. So the truth is that capitalism can continue forever because it's based on turning virgin resources into products. If virgin resources have not been used or out of an iron mine, and you can't get that cheap enough, prices go up. And eventually you run out and you have to find other materials. Once we get into space, we catch even one asteroid, it's over. Because it'll bring back this one asteroid that give everybody on Earth enough gold to destroy the economy 3 times over. Once we cross it, it is. We'll have all those resources, and people will start. We'll see more abundance, and we'll start seeing a decrease. I mean, the human population is decreasing. It's reaching its peak, and people are freaking out about it because by 2100, we're going to have 2 billion less people in the world. We're going to be about the same we are right now. We're going to peak a little bit and then come back down. It can all be good or bad how you make it. Is some of it going to be awful? It's likely to. How are you going to reprocess your life so you live a happy life is really important. And if you don't want to be in the middle of a battle zone, leave. I mean, that's the answer. Be it digital or physical. I've been caught in a lot of visions lately. I mean, what's happening now is very much caught into visions I've had. I wrote a book of prophecy with 100 trains, Nostradamus style. Oh, sure. So Motorheads can have another vintage gas color. Yeah, sure. They will be able to. And with a little bit of tweaking, they pay for a carbon expense. That'd be great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with gasoline if you're willing to pay the carbon expense. If you're willing to eliminate the carbon expense, there's nothing wrong with gasoline if you capture the emissions. That's the problem. It's not the gas itself.
It's the okay, I can follow that.
Right? It's the emissions and the damage it does to puncturing the earth. Well, now we can just go ahead and bioprocess gas out of food waste, out of other materials. We can lower the number of wells and all of that. And we can use them. I mean, we can make it. It'd be perfectly acceptable if you can get 100. People will say I'm crazy, that's against the agenda. But if we can get 100% or the 99% captured emissions of cars, they get between 100 and 120 miles per gallon cost. That too could bring carbon down sufficient enough. They can. Can you imagine if cars could run on water? They can. It's called hydrogen. Hydrogen cars run on water.
I had a chemistry professor in college swear he had an engine that could run on water, but no one would give him a hearing.
Right, and it's almost all of it were based on hydrogen oxygen splitting. That's what it is. The oxygen goes into the main tank. Hydrogen gets separated into another thing, into another tube, and the oxygen is then lit to catch the hydrogen on fire, and it burns really fast and really quick. But because of the flammability of the materials, the car industry has been able to keep it out. There were electric cars in the 1890s. Actually, electric cars a lot of people thought it was going to be the electric cars that were going to take over. They had them going, and they had them out for a while. But then everybody decided to go with gas combustion engine, and then that majority, because it was cheaper, was able to do so. Everything is possible, my friends. What the imagination can conceive. With zero manufacturing, you can produce. Imagine having a ring in 24 hours. You could do it. You know how you do it? Well, it takes a matter how long you design it. Let's say you can design it in 1 hour. Then you can then send it to either to one of the programs or you do it yourself. You put it into a 3D program, look at it, see if it's safe. Okay, you're now 2, 3, 4 hours in it, maybe longer. And then you send it over to one of the manufacturers with it paying for speed up. They put it on the next thing, depending how big and fast it is. It could take the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours to make, and then they send it to you.
Hey, Kai, good to see you.
Imagine waking up with a dream of a ring some days. And if you have it even closer, you could have it the next night. That's how fast things are moving. Now you need money for that or credits or whatever we're going to operate in exchange, but that's another story. Oh yeah. I'm so full right now of this material, this idea. I'm getting ready for my speech. How godlike it is. How godlike we're going to become.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we are past the hour.
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm going to wrap things up. Please join me next week for Tarot Thursday. I am not sure who my guest will be at this point, but I will be here with a special guest.
You should get people to say, hey, people, if you want to join Mary, let her know. Why don't you come on out and do this? We should get her a lot more guests.
Yeah, so if you're a tarot reader and you're interested, hit me up on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. Ed, thank you so much for joining me. I always love having you on the show. And safe travels, my friend. Everyone, have a wonderful evening and blessed be.